welcome to this edition of Connections. I'm Christy with the Community Foundation. Thanks for joining us today. And I've got my special guest today is Melissa Vine, the Executive Director at The Beacon. Melissa, thanks for helping us know more about The Beacon and specifically The Beacon Village, which is where we're at today. First of all, just tell us about The Beacon, how long it's been in Des Moines and who you serve, kind of more about the mission.
Absolutely. So The Beacon began in 1980 as Beacon of Life and has evolved over the decades, eventually then got a property in Sherman Hill across from the Aposto restaurant where we have up to 33 women living in that space. 85% of them are coming directly from the women's prison in Mitchellville or the Polk County Jail. And then we also take some referrals from other sources as well. And at The Beacon, they get housing and programming like mental health counseling, substance use recovery, career development, financial literacy, social emotional learning, all kinds of wraparound supportive services so that they can not just get a job or get out of homelessness, but to actually become well.
Yeah, exactly. And the times that I've visited that location, I mean, they are busy, they are working, they are, I mean, not just working jobs, working on themselves and their lives and creating anew. And
Yes.
you have a lot of success stories from there clearly as well.
It is really cool to see because when the women first arrive at The Beacon, and oftentimes it's the first door they're literally walking into after prison or being in jail, and they're downtrodden, they're feeling insecure, they are not real happy and don't feel like they're worth very much, right? And oftentimes our society treats people in those circumstances like they don't have a lot of value. And they show up at The Beacon and our staff, who half of our staff are graduates of our program.
Yeah, which I love.
I know, it's really great. And so they will love the clients until they can love themselves, is what they say. And you see these women just blossom and come into themselves, and we treat them with dignity. We trust them from the start. We don't call them criminals or addicts or inmates or offenders or any of those stigmatizing language. They are humans deserving of respect and dignity.
So talk a little more about how the Beacon Village became a concept, why it was needed, and what's happening right here in this very space in Des Moines.
Yes, it's such a great project. So after clients would graduate from our programming, which takes anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, they struggled to find affordable housing that also felt safe for them. And so, they've made all this progress and they have this amazing community of support. And then it's just like, okay, I don't know where to go now, right? And so having a space here at the Beacon Village, it used to be a motel, and it's been renovated to be 32 efficiency units. And the women still get some supportive services. It's still a safe and sober living environment, but they're signing a lease. They've got some autonomy. They have their own apartment, right? And so it's a really good stepping stone. They can stay here as long as they need to and really work on that financial wellness, really work on that credit score, building a savings, paying down debt, build their careers. Oftentimes they're reuniting with children and working on those relationships. And this gives them an affordable and safe place to really dig into those things before they're ready to go to the next step.
Now, Melissa, you just shared with our community that you're going to move on to your next adventure and leave the Beacon on really solid ground, which we are grateful for. I'd love to hear from you after your time at the Beacon and all that you've done here. What are your hopes and dreams for this organization in the future?
Well, what we have built here is something that we all feel really good about. We have established a really solid board and staff. We have almost no turnover. We have doubled our revenue in the last year, doubled our housing units and our staff, and truly built programming that we can get behind and feel really good about when our clients come through this program. So transitioning the Beacon that's in a really good place and feeling good about passing the baton to someone who is going to be able to take it to the next step. And I while I have some maybe personal hopes and dreams, I think it's really important that the next person in leadership, along with the board and leadership staff, are determining what the next steps look like for the Beacon, and that I get to step back and just cheer them on from a distance as they do that. But I have no doubt that because the kind of trauma-informed care that we are providing, the evidence-based practice is just deeply entrenched through all of our staff, every position on the staff, that kind of practice
That
and
will carry
care
on, yeah.
will carry on.
100%.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for your leadership and all that you've done here. And also just, it's important to know what a critical need this is in our community. Options for not just shelter, but permanent affordable housing for women is a huge need. And we're so glad that the Beacon is stepping up in that way on behalf of the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed learning more about the Beacon. Thanks for all you do. We're most certainly better together.